check the mic and make sure it sound right, boy.
How's it going, guys? Electron Man. Well, as you can see, I'm in the middle of this, and I'm sorry, guys. I've been sitting here talking and working for like the last hour, and I just looked up and realized that my camera wasn't blinking. I've been talking to myself and recording nothing. Anyway, let me get you caught up where I'm at and what I'm doing. Okay, first off, this is a, let me see if I can just kind of show you here. This is a DX-394 Radio Shack general coverage communication receiver. This is one of the items I picked up at the Hamfest. In fact, I picked this up and that polymer SWR power meter at the same table, and I gave $30 for the two of them. This is an actually high-end, this is probably the last of the high-end general communication receivers that Radio Shack made. It's almost more of a scanner than it is a receiver. Did a lot of research on it, got the service manual out on it, etc. I've downloaded a bunch of stuff. There's a lot of mods you can do to this as well. But let me get you up to speed of why it's in 1,000 pieces right now. Basically, when I bought it, he said, well, I think it works. So I plugged it in, and the display came on, and it really didn't have any sound. And I'd monkey around with the volume control, and I'd get a little static once in a while out of it, and that was about it. So it was time to take it apart. Well, I got inside of it, and it looks like to me something spilled in it. Either that or it was in a really humid environment. I think more that something spilt in it, because it just had a bunch of gunk all over it. So I spent an hour getting it apart. It's a nightmare to get apart. It's got these stupid blind nuts that are recessed that have two slots. Why not just make it a normal socket type nut? I ended up having to use a pair of tweezers, prune and shear. These things were an absolute nightmare to get out. I know there's probably a tool, but I even went and searched and I still hadn't found the right tool to use this, to do this type of I don't know what they call it, blind nut or slotted nut, I don't know. Anyway, but you got to get 4 of those out that are recessed inside of here, and then of course it's got just a normal nut here. You got to get those out to get this front display off, plus a million screws. But anyway, I'm wandering off on the tangent there. Point being is that it didn't work. I got it open and I could tell that something had spilt inside of it, so it needed a major cleaning, and hopefully a major cleaning will fix it. I think it will. I mean, like I said, at least it was powering up. The keypad appeared to be, you know, entering frequencies, but I couldn't get any sound because it kept monkeying with it. So anyway, I got it this far apart, and I've taken my little old cleaning brush here and some good old isopropyl alcohol, and I have just been cleaning, and I wished I had a sonic cleaner, because if I did, I would go ahead and unsolder these guys and soak them in there. But I could tell, especially on the volume control, it was real stiff, and I soaked it down real good with alcohol. Then I sprayed it with Deox, and then I used the Deox liquid and let it seep into it, and it feels pretty smooth now. So hopefully all that work got that back. But so really, I'm close to putting it back together. By the way, there's the memory battery on this. If you ever had one of these 394s, which fortunately this guy right here is still good. I just checked it, and it's got 2.8 volts, and it's a rechargeable, and it's a 3-volt battery. So amazingly, it's still holding the charge. It probably hadn't been plugged in a long time, and I only had it plugged in for a few minutes. So pretty confident that battery's good. Have to be really careful. It's got a bunch of really sensitive wires on it. As you can see, it was a real bear to take apart. But anyway, while I was in here, like I said, I pulled out the service manuals. I noticed that there's a few weaknesses in it. By the way, this is version B, which apparently there's an A version and a B version, and the B version is the better of the two. Apparently some of the fixes have already been done, but one of the big ones, they say, is the power supply. The decoupling on it is not very good at all. In fact, they kind of say it has a lack of decoupling. So I want to get it going here, and they gave some modifications, and I'm going to add a couple of capacitors in here on the bridge rectifier side of things to decouple it better. And it says it has a mild hum if you listen real close, especially with like headphones. So hey, I'm in here and I've got this far apart. I might as well do the mods that it suggests. Also, there's another cool mod that I found that I will do as well, that it makes it more analog. Apparently on this one, it mutes when you're turning the channel. Another one, when you're switching channels, it has a mute So, you know, it takes that analog feel away from it, so you're getting blinking whenever you're turning the dial. Which, when you're hunting for signals, you do not want to be blinking. You know, you want white noise constant. So apparently, which actually that's an easy mod. I will show you that as well as I get through here. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to put these capacitors in here to decouple it better. And looking at the diagram here, basically, I'm going to have to go from the bridge rectifier and feed it over to your points are. Hopefully you can get a good view of this. I need as much light as I can get on this too, no lies, but we're going to run us a cap from over here to here. This is your bridge rectifier right here. I've already pulled the cap out. They actually say get a 2200 25 volt. I had a 2200 UF 35 volts, so it's not going to hurt to have a little extra voltage in it. Obviously, you want to make real sure on your polarity there. Let me go ahead and get the starter iron fired up here and get this guy installed between these outer two rigs right here. Which obviously this is ground side and this is hot side, so we're going to make sure we want the hot side to be soldered onto here and the ground over here. Hopefully you're getting a good view. I'll try to pull in the camera as close as I can on that. But anyway, that's your 2 points there. I'm going to go ahead and OCD. I want these two to be even, so I'm going to go ahead and trim that positive side off just a slight bit. Lay one across here and across here, so get a little solder out here. We'll go ahead and tin these guys up real quick. Oops. And we're just going to layer in here. Actually, I'm not liking the way that's wanting to lay. Let me bend those tabs down a little bit. Force it to lay a little bit flatter. There we go. And I'm doing this for you guys. It'd be easier if I was facing a little bit different. I'm trying to make it to where you can see it real good. Okay. Make sure you're not shorting anything else out. There we go. Get that laid like that. Nice, pretty joint there. Go back and clean up this one a little bit. Pretty shiny joints there. Actually, I'm gonna take my tweezers and bring those up, make sure they're not in contact with anything else. So you can see I'm trying to, I don't want them get pretty close to the other components there. And I'll probably put a little hot glue there. Yeah, I'll put a little hot glue there. And it's got that's a 2200 UF, and then you got a couple, what are they, 0.1 or 104s, just a couple ceramic caps. And one of them is going to bridge in between the inner two of these. So again, let me go ahead and really, you don't really want to be soldering over this. So and it is going to go in between And let me get this leg here. So we got that in. And then we're going to want to put one more over here. We're going to bridge across this terminal here, which again is just decoupling the AC or DC power. Just filtering it basically is what we're doing. Go ahead and tin it up. Sorry guys, I know my hand's in the way, but I got to get it soldered right first. We'll go back and give you a good look at it once I get it soldered here. Just like that. Okay, there you go. Hopefully you got a good view of that. As you can see, I've added a capacitor here, and then a 2200. These are, I think they're 104 ceramics. Basically, these are high tolerance ones. These are high quality ones, but a couple 104 ceramics here, and then a electrolytic 2200, at least 25 volt across there. Double check all my solder work. Looks nice and clean. There's nothing going to be there, so I'm just going to leave those just like they are. No reason to do any more than that to it. All the solder work I got to do in it. Definitely want to make sure we're not shorting across anywhere. Looks like we got it nice and clean. I do need to go ahead and I don't know if it's really necessary, but I think I will go ahead and hot glue that down. Go ahead and start assembling this. Actually, I don't need to stop the video for that. I'll just let you go ahead and watch me start reassembling. This thing, it was a lot of fun, I can tell you that. Anyway, let me get this guy out of the way. We're kind of done with the mod. There's some other modifications you can do to it as well, but I think that's the major too, is to clean up the little hum it had in it on the decoupling, on the DC decoupling, and to take it to where it doesn't have the muting whenever it's tuning. Let me go ahead and clean this up a little bit, this front screen here. This is my only opportunity to get in here and clean the inside glass, so let's wipe it down real good. Good thing is this appeared to be in really good shape. Other than it looks like to me, somewhere along the line somebody spilled something in it. I don't know what it was. It appeared to be like Coke or something, like a soda pop, but fortunately it didn't do too bad, and I got it, for the most part, I got it pretty clean. I don't know, you can still see a little bit of on there, but I brushed it all down real good. Anyway, let's go ahead and drop this guy back in here, which this goes in here. This goes in the little speaker thing right here. That's your headphone jack. I think I'll go ahead and start with it. It slides in there, and it's got a little keeper screw that goes in there. Right there. There we go. By the way, be real careful with these buttons. I accidentally got them knocked out, and they're like real long, and they're a real pain in the tail to get back in. Let me make sure and wipe down my pad here. You don't want any oil on that. That's your button pad there. We're going to lay this back in here. Snap her back in like so. And then we'll start putting the screws all back in here. Which I'll probably put this on fast forward while I'm doing this. Make sure and watch that one right there. That was a sneaky one I didn't notice. As far as taking it off. Okay, let's go ahead and flip her over. And let's put these awful things back on, which they ought to be a lot of fun to put back on. Anyway, I'm going to stop the video while I get these blind nuts back in. I can tell that's going to take a little while. No reason to waste a bunch of video on screwing 4 nuts in. You got these 4 little blind nuts. I go in there. Technically, I don't even know if you have to have them, but I'm going to put them back in there. They were there to start with. They were a burger to get out, so they're probably going to be a lot of fun to get in. So I'll be back whenever I get them put in. And you just got the, this is an easy one here. Actually, this is just your typical, which I wish they'd done that with all of them. This is just your typical nut here. Get started and then just that one's easy to put back in. So these other 4 are going to be fun. Anyway, I'll be back when I get those in. Okay, guys, I got those nuts back in there. I ain't going to say it was fun. It was actually a little easier to get them on than it was off. I think because of that spilt stuff on them, that didn't help any with getting them out. So, anyway, it still wasn't fun, but we did manage to get them in there. So, go ahead and put the knobs back on there. Yeah. Voila, the front display is back together. Yeehaw. Now we just got to put the rest of the radio back together. Okay, let me get her out here. We've got it modded. Go ahead and out the front up here. As you can see, it has a couple different places it has grounds. One here and one here, which they are clearly marked. Get these wires. I think everything plugs in a, no, not everything plugs in the top. So we got one harness that goes below, so that's the harness that goes below. The rest of them go above. So we'll go ahead and lay her in there like this. Line her up. Go ahead and put the first. Let's see here. One ground goes there, one ground goes there. There we go, grounds are hooked back up. And then let's see here where we go. Let me go ahead and put this front cover on here. It's got 4 screws on the sides for the front cover. I don't know if you can see that or not, but is that the right one? Yeah. Blinking or muting on channels, it says that I need to, I believe it was the purple one. It says it's on connector 1. It's next to the gray one. Violet next to gray. Which that would be it. So it's on this connector, the long connector of the 3 connectors here, which that is marked as CN1. Okay, so CN1, we want to take this purple wire and we just want to disconnect it. Let me see, is it going to be able to, if I can, I'll just pull it and tape it off, or cut it. I'd just say not cut it if I don't have to. Yeah, it looks like this is those ones with the, where's my knife at? This is the second one. There we go. See, as you can see, I just pulled it out of the connector. I didn't cut it, so I'll put that off to the side. I'm going to tape it off here in a minute. Go ahead and start plugging everything else back in. Well, that's a tight one. Purple mod we've taken out of it. We'll get tie wrap here in a second. Okay. Oh. See what I did here, guys? That's why it was so long. I hate it when they use the same connector on both of them. Fortunately, they only fit in one way, so. Okay. Yeah, a couple tie wraps there will pretty that all up. And then we've got one connector over here on this back side. Okay. And if memory has it, we have one more connector on this side. I need to get some hot glue and glue that down. As you can see, there's nothing going to be in the way of my mod anyway, so I don't need to do much more on that. Okay, let me get some tie wraps. Okay, here we go. Since that one was stubborn, it did not like the... See, to me this is a little bit big, but... Alright, find anything in between, hopefully that'll do the trick. All I'm trying to do is just insulate it, so... Just... I drink too much soda pop. Gives me the hiccups. And we'll just fold that over. Voila. And now, well, let's go ahead and do a little prettying up on it. Tie it all back up. There's one there. Just a couple is all I was going to need. One about right here. Probably doesn't need them at all, but tie wraps are cheap. So. And it does kind of protect it from anything getting in the way or chafing or anything. Not that this is going to be vibrating around anywhere. Okay. All nice and factory looking, right, guys? Tuck it in there a little bit. If somebody wants to go back, they can always connect that back up. Looks like we're nice there. Inspection here. Do I need to tie wrap that? I'd say no. And I do need to hot glue this. I just for good measure, it wouldn't hurt to hot glue that. So, let me get the hot glue gun. I'll be back, guys. I'm just gonna try and get a little underneath here. A little blob like that. Stick her down. You gotta love hot glue, I'll tell you. All right. Now, do I plug it and test it before I put the cover on? No, that ain't the way I roll. I'm gonna put it all back together and then plug it in and see if she works. And not a whole lot left to put together now. Let's see here. We got plug the speaker back in. so. Slide the front cover on like so. Flip her over. Nice and cleaned up here. Mods right there. Definitely not going to get in the way anyhow. Yeah, it looks like the only damage I see on this guy, on the whole thing, as far as the outside of it, not even any bad scratches, is one of the little legs is missing, which is too bad. It's not broke, this part. Yeah, it might be a little bit, but anyway, not that I have it at a tilt anyway, but something I noticed is one of those little legs is missing. Now we just got to put the 4 screws in the back in there, and then we're going to come around, and I'm going to bring the camera around the other way and get to the front of it, hook the antenna up, and let's see if all this work is paid off. I will be back, guys. Okay, guys, we're going to turn this on together. I did modify the rectifier on the DC side of the circuit here, so hopefully when I power it up, the mods that I got were accurate and it don't smoke. Definitely got several hours worth of work in it. Hopefully that all paid off. Hopefully the volume control now works, and I got a cool little, it's not a scanner, it's a general communication receiver. Fortunately, this is the B version, which I was reading. There's actually a couple other mods. One is the AGC and AM mods, and unfortunately on the B version they already did those, and all the mods are is converting an A version to a B version. So we'll see. Let's go ahead and hit the power button. Fingers crossed. Well, I got sound, I got display, got no hum. That's good. It's nice and quiet. Feels like it's pretty clean. Boy, before it was terrible. That's good. Okay, well, do we have receive? We have a hiss. RF gain appears to work. I think we'll start out with, I hadn't really read the manual how to operate all this, but we'll start out with the 15 megahertz time. I've only got one other radio in here right now, shortwave radio, that inside this shop, even with an antenna that'll pick that up, so that's probably a good indicator for me. If it picks it up, it's a sensitive receiver. Boom. Too loud. That's not bad. For in here, that's actually really good. Okay, let's just go check some AM stations. Let's go here.
Last time we got right up into the edge and
boom.
Over.
Inside my metal building, mind you.
And then suddenly they came up with a resolution. Leading up to that, markets were off 20%. So I'm
pretty impressed so far, guys.
What I'm saying is, if you look at what happened last time, it wasn't good. I mean, you take a look at everything else that's going on.
Wow.
Right now, if I'm sitting...
Didn't my clipping go away? Well, that would have drove me crazy. Yeah, it's definitely, it's acting like an analog.
I see Doritos.
Oh, yeah.
No, you gotta look closer. I'm looking. Do you see it now?
Wow, guys. Okay.
I see Ruffles.
It was worth my time.
Oh, there it went. It went right over there. You don't see that? It's
this
right
guy
over
might
there.
just well go up on my shack bench here.
That's a bag of bugles.
I like one thing is on the other radio, I got this.
What you see is what I see. Like, I can assure
that's as sensitive as this guy is my Panasonic, and it doesn't have memories. So I love the direct entry too, and of course I'm no analog guy. I like that it performs like an analog. So I wonder. Let's do. See, we go band here. Hey, check that out. That's channel 6. It's picking up skip. it's working flawlessly. Hopefully my arm's not in there too much. Let's see if I can find some activity on the, well, we'll just go for,
And I could pray for all the seeds that's still recovering around the world. I could appreciate all the prayers.
Shortwave is working like a charm. It's kind of dead out on the airways right now, but I'm just kind of scanning around, see if I can find something. Definitely booming on in here.
We do rejoice at His name and trading the new land life. And may the Lord help us to just get our hearts right and be prepared for the soon coming of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Come quickly, Lord Jesus, come with prayer.
Awesome.
Bless you all. Maranatha.
I love the band steps on it too.
Hi, Faith. It's me, Scott from California. Just keep praying for me. Don't like calling to tell you I'm listening on my phone. Love you. Maranatha. Bye.
Well, thank you. I'm listening to you on 1160 radio station in Michigan. Dan.
I'm loving it, guys. We sure brought her back. Another one.
Yesterday too, but you know, in the evening there's about 10 p.m. on local time here. Picked up a little bit there, made a couple of European contacts, and a lot of stations out there in the South Pacific. So we give it a go. Okay, John, take care and have fun, and have a great time there. Whiskey 5 Hotel Bravo, Kilowatt Echo 6 Tango Zulu, off and Bears. 73, John.
Okay, guys, I think we've proven our point there. Wow, I'm totally impressed. Definitely worth the 3 or 4 hours I put into it. Obviously, you can see she's spot on. I did some sideband, I did AM, I've done some ham upper sideband. I didn't even get into all the extra features. It's got clock built into it. It's got programmable channels in it. It's got a timer on it. You got a dimmer on it. You can lock it. You can monitor it. I'm sure it's probably got a built-in scan too. Yeah, so we can just scan this way. So you can scan. I don't know if you can scan the programs or not. I wonder if you can. I haven't programmed anything, so I have to play with that some more. But hey, guys, if you find one of these, you know, secondhand somewhere, as long as it works, they work great. I'm really impressed. I'm telling you, it's probably my second best shortwave receiver I got in here so far from initial test I got going on here. Definitely helped putting the filters in it. There's lots of information on this. It was easy to get the service manual on it. We're going to give this a 9 out of 10 stars, especially for what I paid for it. I think I got a definitely winner here. Basically, the problem with it is that, from what I could tell, it had some type of liquid spilled into it, but a good cleaning with a soft brush and some rubbing alcohol, some denatured alcohol, definitely fixed it. All the buttons seem to be working perfectly. Lights work. Hey, this is a win all the way around. My review, 9 out of 10. Fun little radio. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's probably going to be kind of long. Kind of tried to cover a lot. Sorry I missed the first part about the disassembly. I can't believe I sat here for an hour cleaning and talking to myself without getting anything on recording. But anyway, it is what it is. I still think we covered the radio well. And like I said, if you see one of these laying around in a handfest or something, definitely cool to have. And as you can tell, it's it's rocking right along on the handband, and it's pretty dead out there. Even on my 991A, I noticed I'm not getting a whole lot. So it's definitely got the sensitivity. I don't see anything negative about it. Okay, guys, have a great day. This is Electron Man. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so you know when the next cool video is coming up.